Hey, it's Scott Fox here for an expert website review for my friends Demetrius and Sarah. They're Masterminds Forum members, and I'm doing this for them for free. Today we're going to talk about Chatalbashlessons.com. This is the website of Demetrius' girlfriend Sarah, who is a noted piano teacher on Long Island in New York. We're going to talk about the website and what I think we might be able to do to improve it. So it's come a long way since we first looked at it in the Masterminds Forum as a group. When was that? Maybe a couple months ago, I guess. And at the time, Demetrius is doing the web work and doing quite a nice job. But I think, Demetrius, you've done a big step forward here in terms of clarifying what's going on and streamlining the process, which, of course, is what you need to do in order to increase conversions. Now, in this case, we're not trying to sell anything. Demetrius is trying to encourage sign-ups for piano lessons. And these are done through this offer, as you can see here, Get My Free Lesson or Learning More. And that's a big step forward from the way it used to be. There were several different paths, as I recall, where a new visitor might come in and kind of be confused about where to go. So, good job in general, Demetrius. Now, of course, it's time to pick on it, and what can we find to improve, right? So, I think it looks really a lot better. You've made a lot of progress, as I said, in terms of clarifying things. The idea that the site is really about free lessons is much clearer, and let's get down to the specifics, I guess, here, since we've talked about it in person, or at least via webcam before. And for anyone else watching this, this is the kind of review I do all the time if you're a member of the Masterminds Forum, or if you go over to expertwebsitereviews.com. All right, so now we've got a streamlined homepage with one objective. The call to action is really much clearer here, and I think that's great. If we're going to get picky, which is what we're doing here, I think I'd make that even bigger. Why not? This graphic is really cute, but it's 3 times the size, and then you've got this huge headline also, both of which need to be big. I agree with that. But if this is the point of the page, why not make that button even bigger? Both of these buttons, in fact, because this is what you're driving at, right? The other question I had on just the general layout section was that, as you can see, at least here on the desktop, I even changed my screen resolution so I could fit more of it in. You have all this other stuff, and it's completely invisible to the standard viewer. If they arrive, the screen on the desktop cuts off right about here, right about where you have this little arrow going down. And it looks like this is the whole site. Now, maybe that's okay, but you know, there's this fine line between driving the person towards the call to action and making sure that they realize there is more in case they want more. So I'm not hard and fast. There's not a hard and fast rule about this, and I'm not wedded to it, but I think I would make this stuff a little smaller so that you can see this stuff just peeking up a little, because you've put together some really nice videos here, right? And this is just what we talked about in our Masterminds Hangout, addressing the different constituencies that Sarah is trying to serve with her lesson. So you've got a parent, a student, and then the advanced student. I think this is great. And these are right here, and you can click on them. They're friendly, they're to the point, and they address a lot of the concerns. And that's just what we talked about in our Masterminds Hangout discussion, was addressing the sales questions along the way so that people have no choice but to convert, right? And you do some more of that here. You'll progress quickly, you'll have a blast, etc. Nice and pretty graphics. I like them. These probably look great on mobile. And by the way, I realize you've probably optimized more for mobile than you have for desktop, but you don't want to neglect both these days. And these, to me, seem very large, right? It takes a lot of scrolling for somebody on a phone or on a desktop to get through all these. So I'm not sure these graphics need to be so big. I'm just talking about making the site a little tighter, so that you can get down here and you are repeating the call to action here, which is good. And I think this is good. Again, why not bigger? If you've gone to all this trouble, why not? And then at the bottom, you've got text or call, the email, a little social media, copyright, great, terms of service and privacy policy, fine, and located in Massapequa, travel radius map. Now, this is actually kind of interesting. I think we talked about this. I think that deserves more attention. If this is little green circle here, this strikes me as being as important as any of these, right? The travel radius, because as we talked about, your business, or Sarah's business, is serving the local area there on Long Island. So that's going to be a big question for anybody that finds this, and I would think that that's as good as any of these, and I would give it more credit, especially since you probably did a lot of work figuring this. Well, I guess maybe it's just a JPEG with a radius on it, but that's important information for anyone that's actually considering buying your services. That's part of the buying process, right? So I think that deserves a promotion. Also wanted to say a word. It's just out of camera range here, I think, but it's probably just popping up over my head here in the recording, but you've got this chat message here, which is very slick and nice, and it looks friendly, her smiling face there. I think this is great. I haven't actually tried it out, but if that is actually working for you, I think that's a really nice idea, and it makes a lot of sense. You're trying to develop a personal relationship, so this makes some good sense to me. Let's see. What next? Let's talk about search engine optimization. I think the location is a big part of your sale, as we talked about. There's two paths you can go by here, and one is the online-only lessons, which I think is really interesting, and I'd like to talk more about that sometime when we're in another hangout or in the Masterminds forum together. And then, of course, there's the in-person lessons, which are the way that piano is traditionally taught, side by side at the keyboard, right? Your search engine optimization, I noticed you now have Massapequa in a couple places, like here, most obviously. It's also up in the title of the page, which shows up in the tab, which is off the screen here, but it says Chatalbash Lessons, Massapequa Piano Lessons. Good. And then again, on the bottom here, it said, here, located in Massapequa, New York. All good. What you're missing, though, is Long Island. Right? You would probably be open to people from Long Island who may not be searching specifically for Massapequa. Why not have Long Island a couple places, or some of the neighboring towns that are nearby? Like, let's say, hard to read these little, like Amityville or Farmingdale or Levittown, right? That's a pretty populated place. Or Belmore. You know, if these are within your range, I'd pick the 3 or 4 biggest of these. Oh, Bethpage, that's a big one. And sprinkle those around, not necessarily as prominently as Massapequa, but certainly down here in the footer would be a good place to put them, and here and there throughout the site. And especially I would include the phrase Long Island repeatedly, not to keyword stuff it and jam it in there, but to get it in so that Google picks you up for that keyword. Let's see. Let's just check out the video.
I'm Andrea from Lindenhurst. My 10-year-old son started showing
Great
a lot
stuff.
of interest in piano.
Now, this is great. So I think you've done a really nice job here. Now let's dig into the site just a little more and see. Let's see. So lessons. So you had a bunch of different lessons here. That was good. I looked and there was something else I wanted to talk about. Oh, about Sarah. This is very nice. I like the big headlines. Oh, the Get My Free Lesson. Again, why not bigger? And there's also the question of, would someone just like to get on your email list, right? There's a big difference between actually getting a free lesson and maybe just wanting more information. And that's something that you don't want to distract too much from the get a free lesson pitch. Let's look at that for a second, actually. And this is a good example. Conveniently located in Massapequa, Long Island, period. I serve families from Bethpage, Farmingdale, Amityville, blah, 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 right? You should get those other cities out there, so it's not just specifically Massapequa. Especially if they're coming to you, you don't really care how far they drive, right? I would also be clearer about that. You say here, location, your home or mine. That's a big deal for a parent or a person who's driving, right? I think you need to be clearer, even on the home page, about is it at my place or yours or online. We talked about that last time, and it's here now when it wasn't before, but I think it would be better to say that right here, conveniently located in Massapequa, or I can come to you or online or something. Figure out whatever your proposition is. I would be clear about it and make it really clear, right? That's the same thing you're doing with these videos, is addressing different constituencies. You have different constituencies geographically as well. You have those who are willing to drive and those who aren't, and maybe those who live in Florida or out here with me in California and they want to work with Sarah online. I still think that's a thing for you. I could be wrong. I'm no piano teacher. But clarifying that, I think, would be helpful for you and not too hard to do, right? These are probably just text changes as opposed to re-engineering the site, which you've already done a nice job of. Okay, so let's go back to the free lesson here for a second. So yes, I would add some more geography. I'd be more specific about your home or mine. Your first lesson is 30 minutes. I would reiterate, it says free lesson. I would bold that word. Everybody likes that word. It's the most powerful word in advertising, according to David Ogilvy. Nice logos here. I remember the first version of the site, you had those kind of sprinkled all over the homepage, and they were very distracting. I think you could still use those maybe on the footer on the homepage again, and you didn't link to them, which I think is good because it will take people away. And I think these are nice for credibility. So maybe those could be used again somewhere else. For example, like I said, on the homepage down here in the footers. Again, these graphics super cute. That moon is adorable, but not really helping your cell very much, right? I think those logos might be nice down here, and a little less of this stuff, as I had said previously. Okay, now the About Sarah page I liked a lot, but I was confused, and maybe I'm just reading fast, but you start talking about a bear, and there's no period on the sentence, and then you drop the bear and talk about piano. It's cute. First real love was the bear. Then how about a picture of the bear, right? Or something about the bear, or at least a period on the sentence, so I realize you're leaving that topic. It looks like it got chopped, like maybe there was, because there's no period, maybe there was a picture of a bear there, or the story of how you lost the bear or something, and then you moved into piano, or of course, you could just skip the cuteness and get right to the point. And, we can forget about the bear and just say piano was your first love, because that's what you're doing here. So that was just a little copy thing that caught me up. I was like, oh, a bear, oh, cute, let's hear about the bear. And then there was nothing. This stuff is great. Again, maybe a place to put the logos if they're appropriate. The problem, though, at least on a desktop, as you can see, I thought this was the end of the page. With this, I don't know if it's in the screen or not for you, but there's a dotted line right here that makes it look like that's the footer. And you've got all this really cool stuff down here. It's nice graphics, and it's very personable. And even a sample of your playing. I like all this stuff, but I really didn't even know it was there. And I've been on this is the, I don't know, 4th or 5th time I've been on this page. I just assumed the page was done here, right? So, for example, if you got rid of the bear, maybe make this a little smaller so that you can tease this. So if it just peeks up kind of like this, you'd be like, oh, what is these, and get people to continue the sell a little bit, right? And of course, again, free lesson, I'd make it bigger. Also this one up here bigger as well, so that you're reinforcing that sale along the way. Now you'll notice these comments are more refinements rather than wholesale reconstruction, so I think you've done a good job, and I hope that this is helpful. I'm not trying to have you redo the site again, because I think you're much closer. Now, this is really good. All the frequently asked questions. The thing that I don't see is the located. Okay, so here again is located. So I would have another question. What towns do you serve on Long Island in New York, near Massapequa? And then, keyword, keyword, keyword. We serve Farmingdale. We serve Bethpage, blah, blah, blah. Repeat those. You want those on the site so that Google picks them up. Also, I don't see addressed the, do you come to me? Do I have to come to you? Will you do it online? That whole issue is a good one to have in here. The rest are great, and I like this kind of fact. At least I personally like them when they're all anchor tags like this, so that you can just scroll down and read it all at once, so you don't have to click on each one and wait for the page to load. So this is nice. Let's see. Yep. Oh, and then, okay, see, look at this. I had no idea this was here. This is cute. Why is this on the frequently asked questions? This should be on the About Us, right? Isn't that where it would fit? These are great photos, a history of you. It's a nice collage. And this is style, not substance, so up to you. But it would kind of make more sense to me if they were in some sort of order, right? Since they're different sizes and jammed together, it's hard to tell, like, is this before this one, or is that one before this one? It'd be kind of nice if here's little Sarah, here's bigger, medium Sarah, here's bigger Sarah, and so forth. So just so it kind of flowed as people naturally read a little more. And then this page does not seem to have the call to action on the bottom, and if you're going to do that, I'd put it on every footer and I'd make it really big. And it should be here, really, even more than the footer, and I would get this over on the About Us page. But that, at this point of rearranging things, not redoing things. I like the news section, and I like the graphics on this. This is very nice what you did with the blue-toned picture boxes and so forth. This is basically a blog, which I think is really smart, because then you can publish things there. You have a place to put things, which allows you to do updates, and then will announce to Google that you have new content, so that they keep indexing you and hopefully ranking you higher. And it gives you a place to put in new links to attract more search engine result ranking signals. Okay. Contact. So, or if you just want to talk Star Wars, well, that's cute. I hadn't seen this page before. Now, this is my Pinot lesson location. This is the first time I've seen this word, my Pinot, or this phrase. Is this the name of your business? That's confusing to me, because I don't want my Pinot. I want Sarah Chatalbash. So that I don't know what that even means. So that needs to be it's distracting. And this is fine. You don't want to put too many questions in here, because it slows people down. I think that's right. But you also might say, text call or send me a message below, or use the chat box, which is in the corner, right? Because you got this live chat here, and that might be worth a try as well. So all of those are tips I think that could help you. And of course, again, it couldn't hurt you to have the get your free lesson here, or again, some sort of email prompt or mailing list collection. That I think is the one thing that I see just missing here. Oh, this is nice. Look at this box. Yeah, this is very cute and very personable. I'm not sure why that's buried. This is more like your old site used to be with these sidebars, right? Yeah, this is nice, but this box is a really nice ad. Why don't you put that in, maybe make it horizontal instead of vertical, and put it as the footer every time, instead of just the cold orange box like you have, say, here. Why don't you use that thing with Sarah's picture? That's very nice. This thing, yeah, even if you made it landscape instead of portrait, that's very attractive, I'd say. Now, the other page you asked me about was this, which was you have to book quickly, and this is clever. You've got a countdown here on the, you got to call soon to get a free lesson. That makes sense. Call me, and with the signature, very nice. The smiling face couldn't hurt. That would be useful there again, I would say. So all in all, I would say, Demetrius, very nice job. You really took to heart a lot of the things we talked about in the Masterminds forum. I think this should do you better. I think that the big thing that is missing is some sort of database creation, so that you're building a mailing list. Some way for a person to do something more than leave and less than getting a free lesson, right? More like your Learn More page. And this is a nice page, by the way. The picture, this is very welcoming, the home there. But something about, I would just like to keep in touch in here. And you need to have a little sales copy with that, like let me know if you're running any specials, or get a discount on my first lesson, or get back to me, call me in September, or whatever, that kind of thing. To build that mailing list over time can really be an asset for Sarah, because then whenever you guys need a little money, she can send out an email to everybody and say, hey, 20% off on piano lessons this month or whatever, and that can get you to building up your revenue stream by building up your client database. So, okay. Well, I hope that's helpful to you. Chatalbashlessons.com is the website. Demetrius has done a very nice job for his girlfriend, Sarah, the piano instructor. And if you're in the Massapequa area in Long Island, New York, please do drop by. Sarah's an excellent teacher. And I'm Scott Fox from Masterminds Forum and Click Millionaires. And if you'd like to come work with me or get a review like this, come and join us at mastermindsforum.net, mastermindsforum.net, or visit expertwebsitereviews.com to order a review like this for yourself. Thanks for watching. See you again soon online.